Welcome. Welcome to the June 17th, 2024 meeting of the Stillwater City Council. At this time, I will call the meeting to order and ask that you all stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yes.
All right. We're going to jump right in tonight to the consent docket. I'm going to turn my mic on so we can jump into the consent docket tonight. It's a little rough to start this meeting. Paying attention. All right, here we go. Consent docket, item 3 on the agenda. Councilors, staff has requested that we pull item C from the consent docket. That one is got an error in it and needs to be corrected, so they'll bring it back to us at a later meeting. So we'll pull item C. Anything further from the consent docket?
Okay, I move approval of the consent docket minus item C.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve consent docket minus item C. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, that consent docket is approved. Item 6, we'll jump down to item 6. 6A is our energy savings project update from Brady Moore.
All right, good evening, Mayor and Council. Brady Moore, Deputy City Manager. As you'll recall, last fall, City Council challenged staff to take an internal approach to addressing improvement projects around the city that could generate energy savings. And at the October 2nd City Council meeting, City Management shared an implementation plan for projects that included LED light conversions, more energy efficient HVAC components, and other energy savings projects. Funding for the proposed projects was identified in the City Capital Fund and the SUA Electric Rate Stabilization Fund. And in the past 7 months, city staff has begun implementing many of these projects throughout Stillwater to reduce energy consumption and to address needed improvements to city facilities and infrastructure. And tonight we are here to present the progress that has been made on these projects that will reduce taxpayer dollars by being spent on high energy costs. Included in the packet this evening and in front of you is the Energy Savings Projects newsletter that our communications team put together that brings awareness to the city's commitment to implementing these projects for the Stillwater community. I'd like to take just a moment and highlight some of the projects included in the newsletter and will be on the screens as well for the viewers at home. As many have probably noticed in town, the Stillwater Electric Utility is in the process of replacing all of the street lights throughout the city to new LED fixtures. The SEU crews have already replaced 1,940 fixtures, which is 44% of the 4,400 total light fixtures, street fixtures that we have in town. And so really appreciate our crews jumping on that in these first 7 months and accomplishing so much of it. As we're made aware by the mayor and vice mayor last summer, the city of Stillwater applied for the 2023 Oklahoma Energy Efficient Lighting Retrofit Grant Program, and we were awarded a grant for new LED fixtures throughout City Hall. The grant paid for installation of 1,217 new fixtures that replaced 3,639 fluorescent bulbs with new low energy LED bulbs, and that project is just wrapping up, and it's already made a difference. You can tell walking around the City Hall municipal building here. The City of Stillwater partnered with Stillwater Public Schools on a project to replace some high energy light fixtures at Couch Park, the baseball and softball fields, with new low energy LED fixtures. This upgrade was also a big improvement to player safety and also had an economic development benefit in that the city fields can now help host more evening tournaments in the off season. And so that was a great improvement that we enjoyed working with Stillwater Public Schools on. The newsletter goes on to highlight other City facility improvements and upgrading to LED. These include waste management, the fire department admin building, and fire station number 1. Other improvements that were part of the scope was the HVA systems, and we have already made improvements at the community center. And one of the big items that was discussed last fall was the 2 chillers, the expensive chillers here at City Hall that were in need of repair and replacement, and those are out to bid right now, and with the bid opening on June 26th. So we're excited to take care of so many of these projects that were before us last year. And as you can see, or as a final note that I want to mention is a great reminder, is the great thing about implementing these energy saving projects is that they in return pay for themselves through that reduction in power cost. And so it's definitely a win-win and something we're excited to be tackling as a city. So I'll pause now to hear any comments or questions that you have.
Councilors, any questions?
I'm just happy to see the progress. I mean, there's a lot has happened in a short amount of time, and that's so thanks to you and thanks to all the department heads and their teams that are making all this work happen.
I know when we were discussing having an external partner for this project, one of the things they talked about was being able to quantify the savings that we see. Do we have a way, as we are doing all these replacements, that we can look back over a year and say we've saved, we invested X dollars and we've saved X dollars on our utility costs?
Yeah, I think that's a great thing that we should add to our report when we come back. About twice a year is our plan. We met, I didn't mention, but we did meet with the former Renewable Energy Task Force because a lot of those citizens were involved in the energy savings project that we were involved in last year. And so we did, Dawn met with them and reported this newsletter and all of the progress. And I believe that is something that we should add to those reports and add to these presentations back to council. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brady.
Yep, that's it. Just here to report on it tonight.
Appreciate that. It's good to see the work that's happening. We appreciate it. Item 7, resolutions. I'm going to skip the budget. Item 7, resolution number CC-2024-17, a resolution of the Stillwater City Council adopting an operating budget for the fiscal year 2024-2025. We've had our public hearings. We've had our discussions with staff, and so we have at this point a resolution as requested last time for adoption of the budget. Questions, councilors, or action on the resolution?
I would just say a big thank you to Christy Cluck and her office for all of their work that goes into the budget across all the various areas. And I would make a motion to adopt resolution CC-2024-17.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the resolution. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, that resolution is adopted. I think we've talked about this before, how anticlimactic it is for all that work that you guys have done. Yeah, and you're okay with that. I like that. Yeah.
I just saw it.
Item 8 is ordinances. On second read, we have ordinance 3538, an ordinance rezoning attractive land located at 1205 South Duck Street from small lot single family residential district RSS to two family residential district RT. Councilors.
I move adoption of ordinance 3538.
Second.
A motion and a second on the ordinance. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, ordinance 3538 is adopted. Reports from the officers and the boards. Ms. Carnley?
Nothing to report.
Ms. Meek?
Save the date and celebrate Independence Day with Stillwater's 30th Boomer Blast Fireworks Show on Thursday, July 4th at Boomer Lake Park. Festivities kick off at 6:30 p.m. with food trucks, music, and more. The fireworks show will begin around 9:30 p.m. The city will continue to share event details on social media and online at stillwaterok.gov/boomerblast.
Always a fun event. Thank you. And coming up relatively quickly. It's almost the 4th of July. It's crazy. Councilor Hawkins.
I have a couple. First is please save the dates, July 17th through the 21st for Crazy Days. This is Stillwater's annual largest community-wide retail sales event. From Lakeview Point and Pioneer Square shopping centers to the Strip and downtown Stillwater, there are many shops offering summertime sales for all ages. Some stores feature sidewalk sales, while others will have sale racks located inside. For a full list of participating businesses, go to visitstillwater.org. And one additional announcement, who is excited for Summer on the Strip? Bring your family to Summer on the Strip on June 27th from 6 to 9 p.m. on Washington Street. There will be live music, a fun kids zone, good food, and much more, all while shopping on the Strip. We hope to see you there.
It's a great event. Looking forward to it. Councilor Clark.
Did you know the Republican primary election is tomorrow on June 18th? Please get to know the candidates, both local and state, and then vote for who you believe best meets the needs of your family and our community. Depending on your location, the ballot will look a little different and may include County Commission District 2. Sample ballots, polling locations, and more are available online at votepingcounty.com. And I would add the Corporation Commission is on this ballot, and a lot of us don't pay a lot of attention to Corporation Commission, but it affects us a lot. Oklahoma Voice did a really good profile on all three of the candidates individually. OklahomaVoice.com, and just search for Corporation Commission candidate, and they'll pop up, and you can read those.
Good reminder.
It influenced how I'm going to vote.
Good. Thank you. Councilor Harden.
There are many summer fun learning events at the Stillwater Public Library. These are in addition to the summer reading program. Tomorrow, June 18th, is filled with many events. From 10 to 2 will be a rendition of Beauty and the Beast with marionettes performed by master puppeteer Richard B. Elsenpeter. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Then beginning at 6 p.m. tomorrow, we have a presentation by the Stillwater Animal Welfare called New Pet Adventures, where those considering adopting a new pet can obtain more information. Then that's not all. On Thursday, June 20th, will be the Summer Cinema with a first showing at 10 a.m. and a repeat at 2 p.m. Following the movie will be the Sci-Fi Film Club meeting at 6 p.m. For a full list of events, go to stillwaterok.gov/library or visit the library at 1107 South Duck Street.
Thank you very much. I will remind everyone that our city offices will be closed Wednesday this week, June 19th, in observance of federal holiday Juneteenth. Please remember that trash and recycling will be picked up as usual. This past Saturday was the Juneteenth picnic to celebrate freedom from slavery, which was a significant milestone in American culture. The event served as a declaration of our commitment in Stillwater to equity and inclusivity for a unified community. A big thank you to Stillwater Community United, the group that puts that event together. Christy Morrison with Visit Stillwater is part of that. She played a big role in making that happen. Appreciate everyone's hard work for organizing that event. Thanks also to tons of city staff from our police department, fire department, the library, Stillwater Emergency Management, Parks and Community, Communications Department, Public Works, Electric Department. All those city folks got together and helped make sure this event came off. It was really great. Great attendance, a lot of folks there. Also, thank you to Mount Zion Baptist Church, the Stillwater Medical Center, Stillwater Frontier Rotary, Prairie Arts Center, Stillwater Noon Lions, and many other organizations who donated time and resources to make this event special. And it really was. And hopefully, this is something we'll see annually as we go forward. And I would encourage anyone to come down for the Juneteenth picnic next June when we see it again. Nothing else on the City Council agenda. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn City Council. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, the Stillwater City Council is now adjourned. At this time, I will call to order our annual meeting of the Stillwater Public Works Authority for June 17th, 2024. On this agenda, we have up first a consent docket to approve minutes from our December 18th special meeting.
I move approval of consent docket.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve consent. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, that is approved. The only other item on this agenda is a resolution number SPWA 2024-1, a resolution of the Stillwater Public Works Authority adopting an operating budget for fiscal year 2024-25. Trustees.
Motion to adopt SPWA-2024-1.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the resolution. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, that resolution is adopted. Are there any reports from the officers of the board? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, the Stillwater Public Works Authority is now adjourned. This time I will call to order the September, goodness gracious, the June 17th meeting of the Stillwater Utilities Authority. Trustees, questions, comments, or motions on the consent docket?
Motion to approve the consent docket.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve consent. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, SUA consent is approved. The only other item on this agenda is Resolution SUA 2024-5, a resolution of the Stillwater Utilities Authority adopting an operating budget for fiscal year 2024-25. Trustees?
I move approval of Resolution SUA 2024-5.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the resolution. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, that resolution is adopted. Is there a motion or any reports from the officers or board? Is there a motion to adjourn?
There is a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn SUA. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, the Stillwater Utilities Authority is now adjourned. At this time, I will call to order the Stillwater Economic Development Authority meeting for June 17th, 2024. Trustees, action on the consent docket.
I'd like to pull item 2B.
2B. Trustees, action on the consent docket minus item 2B.
Motion to approve consent docket minus 2B.
Second.
Motion and a second. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, the consent docket minus item B is approved. Trustee Clark.
Yes, on item 2B, this is the city's SEDA's contract with the Chamber of Commerce for Economic Development. And there are a number of, there's a list of metrics in this report that's part of what we're approving today. And a lot of the metrics are not really metrics. They're strategic objectives. There's nothing to measure in some of these. And so I would like to move that we approve the contract and the metrics with giving direction to staff to sort of clean this up and identify what's a metric and what's a strategic objective.
Okay, can you, I mean, I'm just looking at it now. I mean, there's certainly some here that are numbers, and are there ones specifically that you want to?
Well, for example, the Chamber will take the lead in collaborating with Visit Stillwater and Payne County Economic Development to invest in a technology tool called Placer. What are we going to measure there? They did it, they didn't do it. So I'm asking staff work with the Chamber, and I've already talked to Elaine, and she knows that I was going to do this, and she's fine with it, that we clean this up and just let staff move on with it.
So do you want these to each to list some specific
Either
checkbox or something that you can say this happened or it didn't happen?
some of these are objectives and some of these are metrics. And I would like to see the objectives identified as such and not call them metrics because there's nothing to measure.
Okay. I mean, the staff, I think, Brady, are you taking the lead on that?
We need to bring it back.
So I'm just thinking about this. If all we're going to do is, if it's listed and it can't be measured and you just want the language that says metric to be revised to say a performance objective or a deliverable,
Yes.
If that's all we're doing, you could move to approve directing staff to make those changes.
Which is the motion I made.
Okay, that makes sense. Trustees?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve item 2B with the requested revisions. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, that item is approved as moved. All right, that takes us to Item 5, general orders. 5A is consider the application of Iron Monk Brewing Company for TIF number 3, Small Business Enhancement Assistance, the amount of $15,000 for improvements that Brady Moore is going to tell us about.
Yes, thank you, Mayor and trustees. Tonight, I'm here to talk to you about the Iron Monk Brewing application under TIF 3 for the Small Business Enhancement Assistance at 519 South Husband Street. The total project cost identified in the application is $30,773.82. And so the total amount being requested again is that $15,000 max. Because of the program details, it is 50% up to $15,000 of total project expenses. Trenton and Jared could not be here tonight to present about the project, so I'll share some of the things that they shared at the TIF Implementation Policy Committee when they met with them last Monday, June 10th. They talked a little bit about the project as included in the packet. They have a rendering showing a lot of improvements to the west side facade of the facility. One of the things that they shared was that they wanted to identify the building as more of a retail establishment to increase retail sales. And when others, they stated, have identified the facility as more of like a manufacturing, even though they do all the manufacturing for their beer. Inside the facility, they wanted to highlight the tap room and the retail opportunities that they have. They included in the plan is, or in the details of that $30,000 scope, is the design work, the lighting, electrical, the signage, the labor to install the sign, garage door, and the more labor to and do some of the installation, as well as some stucco and paint. One of the project also includes a very expensive but kind of surrounding metal porch canopy area that's not attached to the building. Trenton shared with the committee that this will be similar to Hatch, kind of an outdoor seating space to have more retail customers outside and have kind of a shade structure that they can sit under. So that is going to be another great improvement that's coming. It's not in the scope, but it's it adds to the overall project. Details on the committee, they voted 5-0 to approve the project, to bring it to you all this evening. That also brings the balance. The current budget is something I shared with the committee. The current budget in that bucket of the small business enhancements of the TIF 3 project plan is $34,000. So there's plenty of funds to approve this. Do you have any questions?
Trustees, any questions?
May not be part of this, but the metal work they're going to put around there, is it going to require permitting or anything?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and they're aware of that. We've gone over that, and I took them up to community development to go and get all the forms they needed.
Okay.
It'll require an URL or a right-of-way of agreement.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I think it's really exciting. I think this is right in line with what we generally talk about when we talk about wanting to be able to help businesses enhance the exterior look and feel of their facilities so that they can continue to improve, like you said, the retail aspect of this business. And it does have kind of a nondescript feel to it now. I think a lot of folks, if you don't know that there's a retail establishment there, you probably wouldn't guess. And so I think it's a good enhancement to the area and something that'll be exciting for people to see.
Agreed.
What's your recommendation for us, Brady?
I recommend to approve the application for small business enhancement from Iron Monk Brewing Company in the amount of $15,000 for improvements to new signage, new exterior light, and new paint.
Trustees?
Motion to accept staff recommendations.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve this item. Please vote. That's approved with a vote of 4-0. Thank you, Brady. Item 6, Resolution SEDA 2024-2, a resolution of the Stillwater Economic Development Authority adopting an operating budget for the fiscal year 2024-25. Trustees.
I move adoption of resolution SEDA 2024-2.
Second.
A motion and a second to adopt the resolution. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, that resolution is adopted. And with that resolution, all of our budget resolutions are now adopted for the next fiscal year.
Look at her smile.
You get a couple months off, and then you get to start the whole thing again. I'm sorry? One more resolution? We did it.
We did it.
We did it. Quick, in the middle. Item 8, reports from officers and boards. Ms. Carnley.
A request for an executive session as authorized under 25 OS Section 307C11 for purposes of conferring on matters pertaining to economic development, including the transfer of property, financing, or the creation of a proposal to entice a business to remain or to locate within the jurisdiction if public disclosure of the matter discussed would interfere with the development of products or services, or if public disclosure would violate the confidentiality of the business.
Thank you. Anyone else have reports? I will just take a second and thank Elaine Zanotti for being here on her birthday. Thanks for coming out on your birthday.
Happy
Elaine.
birthday, Elaine.
Happy birthday.
With no further reports from the officers of the board, is there a motion to enter executive session for the reasons stated by the city attorney?
So moved.
Second.
With a motion and a second to enter executive session, please vote. With a vote of 4-0, we'll now enter executive session. All right, trustees, is there a motion to return to regular session?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Chair Joyce,
Yes?
Trustee Hawkins,
Yes.
Trustee Clark,
Yes.
Trustee Harden,
Yes.
4-0.
We're back in regular session as Stillwater Economic Development Authority. Was there any recommended action from the executive session?
No action.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn SEDA. Please call the roll.
Chair Joyce,
Yes?
Trustee Hawkins,
Yes.
Trustee Clark,
Yes.
Trustee Harden.
Yes.
With a vote of 4-0, Stillwater Economic Development Authority is now adjourned, and that concludes our meetings for this evening.